Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I welcome you all on behalf of the Department of Physics and Management of Hazara University to a very great event, academic event, the PhD defense of Muhammad Idris. He is a PhD student of Dr. Ben Amin, our ex-colleague and now the chairman and chair professor in Department of Physics at Abbottabad University. Muhammad Idris has worked on first principle study of van der Waals heterostructure of novel two-dimensional material. He has published around 50 articles and impact factor journals with an impact of above 150. His thesis was evaluated by two international experts and one national experts, in which one of the examiners is sitting here. We have requested two examiners, one from High Energy Physics, Dr. Irfan Mahmood, High Energy Physics, University of Punjab, and Dr. Ghulam Murtaza from Islamia College University, who is Associate Professor in Islamia College University, Peshawar. Again, he is our graduate from Hazara University, so it's a great pleasure to have Dr. Ghulam Murtaza as an examiner today. So I would now request Muhammad Idris to present his thesis. Dr. Muhammad Idris, please.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I am Muhammad Idris. Today I am going to present my PhD topic with title First Principle Study of van der Waals structure of novel two-dimensional material for promoting optoelectronic and renewable energy application in the supervision of Dr. Ben Amin and in the co-supervision of Nagjan Chau. Outline of my presentation is low-dimensional material. After that I will discuss about two-dimensional material, transition metal dichalcogenides, genus transition metal dichalcogenides, types of 2D materials, and heterostructures. After that I will explain application of 2D materials, my research motivation, research objectives, research methodology, result and discussion, conclusion, and the last one is recommendation. The first slide. What is materials? Materials have three types. General materials are divided in three types, which is known as bulk, 2D materials, 1D and 0D. When the motion of electron is not confined in any one direction, means we have electron which can move in all three directions, then it will be 3D material. And when we confine the motion of electron in one direction, it means that when the motion of electron means electron can move in two directions, it will be 2D materials. And when electron can move only in one direction, it will be 1D materials. And when we confine all the motion of all electrons, it will be 0D materials. Now the question is, why I am interested in 2D materials? We can see from this figure that we can easily go from 2D to other form of materials. For example, if we take 2D materials, it gives us 3D materials, and if we roll it, it will be 1D, and if we wrap it, it becomes 0D. That's why I am interested in 2D materials. 2D materials exist in different forms. For example, the first one, which is discovered by Nowosla in 2004, is graphene. After that, hexagonal boron nitride, transition metal dichalcogenides, blue and black phosphine mixines, silicon carbide, silicene, a lot of 2D materials, about 25,000. Now, as I told in previous slide that I am interested in two-dimensional materials. Two-dimensional materials are atomically thin and free of dangling parts. It have a large surface area, and some 2D materials there exists in larger symmetry. 2D material can exist in the form of superconductors, whose example is NbSe2, in the form of metals semimetals, half metals, superconductors, and also in insulators. Now I am switching about my topic, which is transition metal dichalcogenates. What is transition metal dichalcogenates? When one transition metal atom is sandwiched between two same chalcogen atom, it will be transition metal dichalcogenates, whose general formula is MX2. Transition I represent transition metal from blue, while the chalcogen atom is from red. Here in this slide, I represent a side view of transition metal dichalcogenates, in which the light green represent the transition metal, while the yellow bar represent the chalcogen atom. Now, due to the lack of application of transition metal dichalcogenates, scientists are motivated to discover some new 2D materials, in which genus transition metal dichalcogenates. As I told that in transition metal dichalcogenates, two same chalcogen atom is attached to one transition metal atom. Here, by the process of selenization, one chalcogen atom is replaced by the other chalcogen atom. It means that in genus name, these two different chalcogen atoms are attached to one transition metal atom, which we can see from this figure. As due to the alternative order of chalcogen atom, genus transition metal atom can exist in two different models. Here in this figure, we can see that the blue ball X, which I represent from X is the top, while the Y atom is on the bottom. While in second model, Y is on the top and the X is on the bottom. Now, types of 2D materials. 2D materials can exist in the form of planar, buccal, and puckered structure. What is planar structure? When the angle among the atoms is 0 degree, means by making it, we take the z-axis same. It will be planar structure, whose example is silicon carbide, zinc oxide, zinc selenide. There are a lot of planar structure. Other one is buccal structure. When the angle among these atoms is 120 degree, it will be buccal structure, whose example is blue phosphorine. And the other one is puckered structure. Puckered structure in planar and buccal structure, there is only two atoms attached to each other. While in puckered structure is just like buccal structure, but here 4 atoms attached to each other, whose example is black phosphorine. Application of 2D materials. 2D materials can be used in the form of thermoelectrics, light emitting devices, spintonic devices, speed effect transistors, energy devices, and gain sensor, photodetector, and also in cancer therapy. Now, I am working, as my topic is about heterostructure, I am working on heterostructure. Now, first one, what is heterostructure? The combination of two or more than two monolayers is known as heterostructures. So there are two types of heterostructure. One is called in-plane heterostructure, the other is out-of-plane heterostructure, or we can also call it van der Waals heterostructure. In-plane heterostructure, when two monolayers are placed in one plane, it will be in-plane heterostructure. In in-plane heterostructure, there is these two monolayers are attached by covalent bonding, which I represent the in-plane heterostructure by MOTE2 and NiTe2. In vertical heterostructure, the one monolayer is placed on the top of other monolayers. There exists a small weak van der Waals process, which is known as out-of-plane heterostructures. As I told that I am interested in van der Waals heterostructure. Why I am interested in van der Waals heterostructure? I will discuss it in this slide. When we make van der Waals heterostructure, it gives us three types of band alignment. One is known as type 1 band alignment, which is used for LEDs and lasers. The other is type 2 band alignment, which is used for solar cells. And the third one is type 3 band alignment, which is useful for field effect transistor. What is type 1, type 2, type 3 band alignment? I am representing this in this figure. In type 1, here the A represent one monolayer, while the B represent the other monolayer. It means that we make here a heterostructure. Similarly, for A, B, I, B, this for all. While the red line represent the Fermi level, here in first AB, we can see that VBM and CBM lies from the same monolayer. When VBM and CBM lies from the same monolayer, it will be type 1 band alignment. And when VBM is from one monolayer and CBM is from the other monolayer, it will be type 2 band alignment. In this figure, the above line is conduction band minima, while the below is valence band maxima. We can see for the other one, the VBM is from B monolayer, while the CBM is from A monolayer. It means that VBM and CBM lies from different monolayer. While for type 3 band alignment, either one monomer or other B monomer cross the Fermi level. So it will be type 3 middle mine, which is used for P epoch transistor. Now, why I am interested in van der Waals structure? If we see that in type 1 band alignment, there are only tuning of the band gap, while in type 3 band alignment, here is also tuning of the band gap. While in case of type 2 band alignment, we can see that here is VBMS from one monolayer and CBMS from other monolayer. This is the unique property which cannot be achieved by other form. For example, if we apply strain, stress or other thing, this is only the property which exists in van der Waals structure. That's why I am interested in van der Waals heterostructure. Motivation of this work is graphene has no band gap, transition metal dichromatic monolayer and there van der Waals heterostructure. The discrepancy between experiment which I represent their references of MOS2, WS2, van der Waals structure, discrepancy between experiment which also here I present references, and theory of van der Waals structure, out of plane heterostructure of MOSE2, WSE2 and ME2, WTE2. Selenization which is confirmed the genus monolayer by chemical vapor deposition process. MXY means genus monolayer, group 4, blue phosphorin, GN, BAC and SiC monolayers are semiconductor. And all these monolayers which are mentioned here is satisfying lattice mismatch. I am making their van der Waals structure with users in type 2 band alignment and tunable physical behavior under external strain and electric field. This is my research objective, to explore and design novel two-dimensional material and their van der Waals heterostructure, to investigate the vibrational properties, structure, stability of novel two-dimensional material and their van der Waals heterostructure, to study the electronic properties of novel two-dimensional material and their van der Waals heterostructure, to confirm its suitability for optoelectronics and photocatalytic application, to modify the electronic behavior of these two-dimensional material by applying strain electric field. I am using here density functional theory, which is based on Cohen-Sham equation, whose general equation is presented here. And this equation, the first term T S rho as the kinetic energy of electron, while the other one is the Coulombic interaction between electron and the nucleus. The third one is the electron-electron repulsion term, while the last one is exchange correlation energy, which is unknown term. For that we use some approximation, which is local density. The first one is local density approximation. The other one is generalized gradient approximation. The third one is meta generalized gradient approximation, hybrid function and fully non-local function. All these calculations are implemented in Vienna AB simulation package, which is a computational package. And now I am going toward my result and discussion. The first paper, which is published in 2019 by the title of Optoelectronics and Solar Cell Application of Genus monolayer and their van der Waals heterostructure. We can see that it is published in 2019, whose citation is 67. As I discussed in my introduction topic, that genus monolayer have two models. So by making their van der Waals heterostructure, it have also two models. Here we can see that in first model, where the D represents the interlayer distance between these monolayers. In model first, the Y atom is just above the X atom, while in model 2, the Y atom is placed on the top of Y atom, means that is two models. By making the van der Waals heterostructure, first we check some configuration, because we know that electronic properties are sensitive to stakings. Here I am represent 6 possible staking configuration of genus van der Waals heterostructure. In this figure I represent the top view and side view of genus van der Waals heterostructure. Here I am explaining it only from side view because it is clear. In A, if we see here, the transition metal atom is placed on the top of transition metal atom, while the chalcogen atom is placed on the top of chalcogen atom. While in the second one, the transition metal atom is placed on the top of chalcogen atom, while the chalcogen atom is placed on the transition metal. In C staking, the transition metal is placed on the top of transition metal atom, while the chalcogen atom is on the hexagonal side. While in D staking, the transition atom is placed on the top of transition metal atom, while the chalcogen atom is in E section. The transition metal is in hexagonal side, while the chalcogen atom is placed on the top of transition metal atom. While in F stacking, the transition atom is in hexagonal side and chalcogen atom is placed on the top of chalcogen atom. After making this possible configuration, we have calculated the binding energy and interlayer distance to confirm their stability, which one is more stable in all this stacking. Here is the calculated binding energy and interlayer distance. If we see in MOSSC, WSSC, van der Waals structure per model 1 and model 2, the stacking F is the more favorable stacking because its binding energy is more minimum as compared to the other stacking. Similarly, for MOSC, WSET, also the F stacking, while in case of MOST, WST, the E stacking is more stable because its binding energy is more negative as compared to the other one. Here I also represent the D spacing, means interlayer distance of these more favorable stacking. Here I represent the interlayer distance, the latest constant, which is 3.25 per MOSSC, WSSC. For both models, MOSCT, WSCT, it is 3.43. Also for both models, and 3.36 for both models. Here MOXY, here this one, the MOX/Y, WX/Y is the bond length of this van der Waals heterostructure. To further confirm this stability, we have calculated the band structure of this stable configuration. Here in this figure, I am explaining the A block. Here in this figure, the x-axis represents the frequency, while the y-axis is the symmetry points, K points. Here the Pohnan's band structure have two types of modes. One is known as acoustic branches, the other one is optical branches. When acoustic branches is the lower branches, which starts from 0, while the upper is optical branches. When there is no imaginary Pohnan, means there is no imaginary frequency, then it means that this system is experimentally possible. Now we can see that for all these figures, there is no negative frequency. It means that these all monolayers, and also the mid one is for van der Waals structure. That means that these monolayers and also their van der Waals structure is experimentally possible. Now if we see the mid one, the D, here some other modes are also present above the acoustic branches. This mode is due to the van der Waals heterostructure. Now I am going to world electronic band structure, which gives information about the material, that it is semiconductor, metal, half metal. Here in this graph, the y-axis represents the energy, which is an electron volt, while the x-axis is for the symmetry points. If we see to S stacking, here the first row is for monolayer, the first and the last row is for monolayer, the mid one is for van der Waals heterostructure. The dotted line is represented by strain, by modifying the band structure, applying strain, electric field, while the green represent the for model 2. If we see for NA, here the zero dotted line is for Fermi level. From Fermi level, below from Fermi level, it is valence band, and above from Fermi level, it is conduction band. If we see in A, that the conduction band minima lie at a K point, while the valence band maxima also lie at a K point. It means that VBM and CBM lie at a K at the same point. It means that this material's direct band gap nature. Similarly, in case of B, similarly, all these materials are the monolayers represent the direct band nature, where for someone, for example, in G, this is not direct band nature, so we applied this external electric field, which we converted from indirect to direct one. Now, here per heterostructure, it is also indirect band nature, but by applying electric field, it converted to direct band nature. This is a calculated table for latest constant, bond length, Pohnan modes, which also compare it for MOSSC, which is experimental paper. Our Pohnan modes are conformable due to in case of experiment. Bond length, valence band splitting, work function, binding energy, interlayer distance for monolayers, and also there for van der Waals structure. As I discussed in my introduction part, that by making the van der Waals structure, it gives us different types of band alignment. Here we can see that in VBM, in case of A, the VBM MODX square, where MO is represented by blue, while W is represented by red color. We can see that we can see in first one, the VBM below from level as from MO monolayer, while the conduction band is due to the W monolayer. It means that VBM is from MOSSC monolayer, while the conduction band is due to the WSSC monolayer. It means that it gives us type 2 band alignment. Similarly, for all others. Now, in C represent here the charge transfer, where the yellow represent charge gain, while the cyan color represent the charge loss. We can see that one layer loss electron, while the other layer gain that electron. It means that for one layer it will be p type, and for other layer it will be n type. This is the calculated table for effective masses. Here the Me represent the effective mass of electrons, while Mh represent the effective mass per holes. We can see that the effective mass of hole is greater than as compared to the effective mass of electrons. It means that there are separation of electrons in holes. Similarly, for van der Waals heterostructures. Now, as we discuss these materials for solar cell application, for solar cell application, we say that it can absorb light in visible region. So here we calculate the optical properties of these monolayers in the form of imaginary part. Here the y-axis represent the imaginary part, while the x-axis represent the energy level. Here the first peak, which I represent from A and B, we can see that here the first peak lie in visible region. It means that these monolayers are best for solar cell applications. Now, this is our photocatalytic properties. Mean for water splitting, water consists in hydrogen and oxygen. As we know that hydrogen is secondary form of energy and also for fuels, which can also be used as a fuel in cars and vehicles. So here we calculate the photocatalytic properties for the conduction of hydrogen and oxygen. Here the indigo lines represent the redox potential. When a material cross these redox potential, it means that these materials will be best for photocatalytic water splitting. The upper indigo color represent the reduction, while the below represent the oxidation process. Well, I also mentioned their values: minus 4.44 per reduction, while minus 5.67 is for oxidation. Here we can see for all monolayers. For example, for MOSSC, we can see that for MOSSC, these MOSSC cross the redox potential. It means that this material is best for water splitting. Similarly, for WSSC, means for monolayers, these materials are best for water splitting. While in the case of heterostructure, for MOSSC, WSSC, only the MOSSC, WSSC cross the oxidation line. It means that these materials are only best for oxidation, while fail for reduction. This is conclusion of my first paper. Bonan spectra confirm the stability of genus monolayer and their van der Waals heterostructures. MOSSC, WSSC, MOSCT and WSCT are found to be direct band gap semiconductor, while MOSCT and WSCT can be converted to direct band gap by applying electric field. MOSSC, WSSC, MOSCT, WSCT and MOSCT, WSCT are indirect band gap type 2 band alignment, while electric field can be used to transfer them to direct band gap semiconductor with type 2 band alignment. All genus monolayers are found to be favorable for water splitting at pH is equal to 0. MOSSC, WSSC is found to be a promising candidate for water splitting.
Slowly, and inside this room you are the expert of all these things, so no one is knowing better than you.
Yes.
So you are the expert.
You are presenting with well expertise and be comfortable. You don't need to do this.
This is my second paper, which is published in Physical Chemistry, Chemical Physics in 2020, whose citation is given also here with the title of Electronic Properties and Enhanced Photocatalytic Performance of van der Waals heterostructure of ZNO and genus transition metal dichalcogenides. In this slide, I only represent the most stable configuration for MOSSC ZNO and WSSC ZNO. which is A and B, and also the band structure of MOSSC, WSSC, ZNO, and their side view. As I discussed that in my first paper, that MOSSC, WSSC as direct band gap, where the VBM and CBM lie at a K point. In case of ZNO, it is also direct band gap, where the CBM and VBM lie at a gamma point of first brilliant zone. This is the calculated value per interlayer distance, binding energy, lattice constant, bond length, and band gap by using PBE plus SOC, also per HSC. This is the work function, and this is the value per water splitting. Now to check this system, as this is thermally stable, we have calculated the thermal stability of this system. We can see here that in z-axis, this is the fluctuation of energy by applying heat. We can see that this fluctuation is very small for all these systems. And now, while the F represent the distortion of atoms, the distortion of heterostructure or monolayer, after stacking, we can see that there is no distortion, or the distortion is very small. That means that these heterostructure are thermally stable. This is the calculated band structure for model first. Here the black color represent the for PBE. Here the first one is for PBE, the second one is for HSC, and the third one is for PBE plus SOC. All these materials are indirect band gap nature. Here, because the CBM is from K point, while the VBM is from gamma point of first brilliant zone. Similarly, for HSC, only its band gap is increases. By